wonder why your morning coffee tastes better than your life choices? Ever wonder why life feels like a chaotic game of Monopoly where you always land on go to jail? Join me as we unravel the bizarre rules of existence that govern our daily chaos. Spoiler alert, it involves a lot of coffee and questionable decisions. Authentic wealth. You're not broken. You're just believing the wrong story. I've had the privilege of walking alongside people from every corner of the globe as they build lives they actually want to live. Every single one of them already had what it takes. It just needed a new lens to see it through. And the coolest part, they didn't need the personality transplant to get there. They just needed to stop arguing with themselves. This whole channel and video is built around one idea. You can be successful, wealthy, and genuinely happy without white knuckling your way through stress, pressure, tension, and pain. I call it authentic wealth because chasing a life that looks good on paper while feeling awful on the inside isn't wealth. That's just a nicer person. Now, you're probably thinking, sure, sounds nice, but is that actually possible? Yes, I've lived it, and so have plenty of people who started out just as stuck as you might feel right now. Let's start with the owner's manual nobody gave you. Now, here's where we begin the three ingredients of every single human experience. I call this the think, feel, live model because principle, implication, experience sounds something like you'd find in a tax document, and nobody wants that. So think what's actually happening in your head, the raw material. Feel what shows up in your body, and mood because of what you're thinking. Live the life you build as a result. We're going to look at how these work, then test drive them in your own life. No blind faith required, just curiosity and a willingness to notice. So, this average regular person who cracked this open wasn't a philosopher with a wall of playing degrees. He was a Scottish welder, a regular guy having a genuinely rough time. He was deeply unhappy, sat down with someone to talk it through, and had a light bulb moment that changed everything. Our entire experience in life is built from three things mind, awareness, and thought. Call it the user manual for being human. Now, here's the plain English version mind is the raw energy, the power source behind everything. Thought is the content, ideas, information, the stuff running through your head. Awareness is where it all shows up as your reality. Put it simply, without the energy, thoughts can't move. Once they move, they show up in your body, your mood, your actual life, mind, thought, awareness. That's it. That's the full operating system. Here's where most of us get tripped up. Let's say your partner says something and you're fuming. They made me so upset. Gentle correction. They didn't. Your thought about what is said did. I know, it feels like hearsay, but stick with me. We're taught to believe the outside world runs the show, that people and circumstances reach into our chest and flip a switch. They don't. It's always our thinking about the thing, not the thing itself. Here's how it usually plays out. You expect your partner to change. They don't. Cue the anger. Then your brain, helpful as ever, drags up a highlight reel of every time you felt this way. Suddenly, a small moment becomes full blown production. Overwhelm sets in. And through it all, you're still insisting the other person needs to be the one to shift. Spoiler, that's not the fastest route anywhere. Now, here's the plot twist. You already have the remote. Here's the good news. The moment you realize your feelings are coming from thoughts happening right now, not from the outside world, you get your power back. Not because you can control which thoughts show up. You can't. They're kind of rude like that. But because you get to choose what you do with them. Here's a real example. Maybe you know your partner is just a certain way. Good day or bad day, doesn't matter. That's just how it is. So why hand that thought a microphone? You don't have to fight it or suppress it. You can just not feed it. Let it sit on the back burner. Deal with it later or never. Your call. This is what it looks like to shift from. Things happen to me. To I get to choose my response. And once you're there, you stop making decisions from a place of emotional whiplash, which let's let's be honest, is where most of our best regrets come from. Even good feelings can run the show. So this isn't about bad moods either. Good feelings can hijack us just as easily. Like, I love cheesecake. I need this cheesecake. So you buy the cheesecake. You don't eat a slice. You eat the whole thing out of the pan, standing at the counter. no regrets until there are regrets. Now you feel sluggish and slightly guilty. And what do? You reach for more cheesecake because, hey, it made you feel good before, right? Except the cheesecake never had the power. You thought about the cheesecake did. Same rule applies everywhere, dessert included. So whenever you feel stress, pressure, or tension, ask, is this actually the situation? Or is this my thinking about the situation? Some people faced with a genuinely hard season let it flatten out. Others, in that exact same situation, find the opening in it. The difference isn't the circumstance, it's whether their thinking is running them or they're running the thinking. This isn't just think positive. Please don't tune out yet. To be crystal clear, this isn't about pretending everything's fine, plastering on a smile, and ignoring reality. That's not the move. There's a real difference between thoughts and thinking. Thoughts are the background noise, spontaneous, automatic, showing up uninvited while you're walking down the street, minding your own business. You don't need to wrestle them. You don't even need to believe them. Just notice them, let them pass, and build a whole story around it. Because that's what we tend to do. One thought becomes a story. The story picks up a sequel, and suddenly you're producing a whole streaming series about how terrible everything is. Cancel the subscription. Thinking, on the other hand, is deliberate, the kind you use on purpose for decisions, strategy, and solving actual problems. That's the good stuff. That's where your best ideas live. When you're not busy wrestling background noise, you get access to what I call the flow, the zone where creativity and clarity actually show up. So try it on for yourself. Now, here's the deal. I'm not asking you to take my word for any of this. Test it. Notice this week where your reactions are coming from the situation, or you're thinking about the situation. Watch what happens when you stop feeding a thought instead of arguing it. You might hear all of this the first time and go, nah, I don't buy it. Totally fair. Sit with it anyway. Come back to it. This isn't about belief. It's about noticing what's already true, the same way the sun doesn't actually rise. The earth just turns, whether you believe it or not. Once you stop getting pulled under by the misunderstanding that the outside world runs your inner world, you get clarity. And clarity is where the good stuff, the flow, the ideas, the energy to build the life you actually want starts to show up on its own. Simplicity isn't the booby prize here. It's the whole point. More stories and deeper dives coming your way. For now, just notice that's homework enough. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.